morning. Happy Saturday to everyone. Welcome to some college game day football chat where we're going to talk about our top 5 games, our top 5 teams, and see who was the winner of last week's prediction. So, as always, I'm going to have my host, my son Lucas, the college football enthusiast, should be here with us shortly. But first, I'm going to say the winner for last week was Matthew. Matthew from Picking and Piping. He got all 5 out of 5 picks correct. He picked Georgia to win, Penn State to win, Miami to win, Notre Dame to win, and USC to win. So, congratulations, Matthew. Picking and Piping, you were the man last week. So we're gonna start a new chart for this week for the top 5 games that we're gonna talk about. And let me include here the link. This link that I put here is so that you can come here live with us and talk about your picks, talk about your team. Since this is a smaller broadcast, it's a lot easier for you to express your views here than something real big. And there you go. There's Boris. Boris, I haven't seen you in a long time. I'm glad you're here with us. And we have Smarty Bob. Congratulations, Smarty Bob. Your Notre Dame team pulled it off. They pulled off a great win last week for sure there. And Blake got a notification. All right. They finally remember you, Blake. Okay. All right. So let me put the link here. Let's see if I remember how to do this. Yeah. Hopefully I do. There we go. All right. There's the link. All right. So as always, anybody can participate. I'll start a new clean sheet here. There we go. So that we can make the picks for this week. All right. Let's start over here. And of course, when you come in, you tell us about your favorite team. I know Smarty Bob is Notre Dame. I know Boris, I think it's Minnesota. Blake goes by uniform. I think whoever's wearing Blake, is it green your favorite color? I forget. Green or purple? I forget. All right, so let's put here for the picks. All right, here we go. I'll put my pick. College football enthusiast. I'm sure Matthew's going to be here. We have Boris this time. Boris, you're going to make your picks with us this week. You were usually a good picker there. And Smarty Bob, I think you can play along too. Smarty Bob. All right, and anybody else, Blake, anybody else that wants to pick, we'll do that. All right, so I'm going to start with my top 5. I'm going to say my top 5. Last week, of course, nobody had played, so it was hard to pick. Which are going to be the top 5 teams. But every week, we'll at least I'm going to pick them based on the games, how they played, regardless of if they're the best program or if they have the best recruiting class. I'm only going to pick based on play. So for this week, I'm going to write here my top 5. I have as my number 1 team is Georgia. They played Clemson last week, completely dominated, just suffocated them. They didn't let them do anything. They were really tough on defense and completely destroyed their offense. So they played a team. They played somebody. So I'm giving them credit for that. And also, I think they were the ones that played the best during the week. So my number 1 team is Georgia right now. My number 2 team is Texas. I was pretty impressed by how they played, even though they played a lesser team. They had great offense, great ball movement, variety of plays. They just looked like like a championship team. And today they have a really tough game against Michigan. My number three team here, Smarty Bob will be glad to hear this, is Notre Dame. They actually, played a really tough game. They went, and played Texas A&M over there in Texas, and they pulled off the win, and they definitely deserve to be on the top teams for this week for playing somebody instead of just playing an easy game and actually winning. My number four is Penn State. If anybody saw that game was delayed by the weather. It was something else. And Penn State again is looking really good. Last year they disappointed me. They had a great team and they just kind of went downhill at the end of the year. But I think they have a great team this year. So they're my number four team, and my number five team is Miami. They beat my Gators and they beat us handily, and they look really good, especially the quarterback. And you need a good quarterback to win. So there you have it. That's my top five teams right now. Georgia number one, Texas number two, Notre Dame number three, Penn State number four, and Miami number five. So let's see what you got there. There you go. Matthew's in the house. Matthew, I just got done talking about you at the beginning of the broadcast, saying that you were the winner. Last week you got all 5 out of 5 picks correct. So congratulations, Matthew. We'll try to beat you this week here, but you did a great job picking the five games last week. Um, and Boris has his top five. Boris has Georgia's number one, just like me. Texas is number two. There you go. We agree so far. Then he has Oklahoma. Oh no, he has Ohio State University as number three. Penn State, we agree on that one, and Notre Dame. The reason I don't have Ohio, I mean, Ohio is a great team, but if anybody saw that game, they played Akron, which is a lesser team, and they struggle. They struggle the whole first half. Um, when there was a play that Akron was 4th and 1 in their territory, and in Ohio State territory, and still they were able to get that 4th and 1 on Ohio's line. They were that confident that they went for it, even though they were so far in the field, and they beat the Ohio State defensive line. A lot of times, they were rushing the quarterback, and Ohio State had to go back 15 yards and throw some crazy stuff. So I kind of was that kind of lower than I had them last week as my top team, and they just didn't look good at all against Akron or Akron. We'll see if that changes this year. Um, well, yeah, you said I know that you need to see Georgia play someone good. Well, Clemson has a good program, and the way they play them, if you see the game, that was pretty dominant. So, but you're right. We'll see. They don't have. I think they have an easy game today, and some of these teams I'm disappointed. They pick not one easy game, but 3, 4 easy games in the year. That's just, I think that's ridiculous. If you're a top program, you should be playing, top teams. Maybe pick one game for homecoming or something like that as an easy game. But to have 3 or 4 easy games, I just don't understand that. So Smarty Ball says Ohio State University is good. They have first week jitters. Yeah, you might be right. They might have that the first week jitters, and maybe that's why they didn't perform that well. They started playing better, of course, at the end of the game. I think they just kind of wore out Akron for sure. Yeah, ranking five is their max. Yeah, Notre Dame again. Some of these teams, we'll see. We'll see what happens the rest of the year. But right now, I think those are the ones that are playing the best, and we'll see what's going on today. All right, so let's go through the games. The college football enthusiast is not here yet, but we'll get started. Um, let me make it sure that he's alive. All right. I'll put the link here again. If any of you want to join and say hi, all you have to do is click on the link, and let's see. We'll put it here. All right. Let's put the link here again. Oh, that's the wrong one. Let's put it here. Copy link. All right. There we go. All right. Okay, so let's see. Our first game, and they're going to be in a variety of channels. ABC and ESPN Plus has most of the games, but there's going to be some on Fox and even some on Peacock tonight. So the first game here that we have is Arkansas and Oklahoma State. Any fans of those teams here? Arkansas and Oklahoma State. So we have an SEC team playing the Cowboys. I always like the style of the Oklahoma State, and for Blake that likes the team colors, they definitely have a cool uniform there. So let's make our first pick of the day. Who you guys have? Arkansas versus Oklahoma State. I'm gonna go with Oklahoma State. I'll tell you my pick right away. I like their hurry up offense. I like how they keep the game exciting, and they're always an exciting team to watch for sure. So here we have Blake picking Oklahoma State. All right, we have Matthew. He wants to stay the winner for this week, Oklahoma State. Smarty Bob is picking Oklahoma State. Oh boy, that might be a bad sign if everybody puts Oklahoma State. Boris, who do you have there? You like Oklahoma State or do you like Arkansas? Again, this game is at 12 noon. It's going to be one of the first games. It's going to be on ABC or ESPN Plus. Let's see. Let me see if I can put it in here. All right. And let's see, Boris, if you're still there, we're waiting for your pick. All right, we'll get you ready then for the second game here. It's going to be Baylor and Utah. Now, for you guys that haven't seen, this Utah team, it kind of goes under the radar. They have an amazing, really good team. That they have had a really good team over the last, I would say, 3 or 4 years. And so they play Baylor. It's going to be their first kind of test here, and it should be a close game. Oh, Oklahoma State. All right. So for now, everybody pick Oklahoma State. And for the second game, we already have Blake picking Utah. Good. No, Blake picked Baylor. Boris picked Utah. Blake picked Baylor. All right. I'm gonna go with Utah. I think they go under the radar. I think they have an amazing team. So we waiting for the rest of you guys' pick between that game. A fun team to watch. Definitely Utah is a fun team to watch. They're really tough, and they look way more. They look like a big program. To be honest, you see Utah and you see like an Ohio State type of program, but for some reason they really stay under the radar. All right, we have Smarty Bob picking Utah, and Matthews picking Utah. Oh boy, we only have one person picking Baylor, and it's Blake. Blake, you might beat everybody on this one. All right. Next game here, we're gonna go to Tennessee and North Carolina State. Tennessee and North Carolina State. If anybody watched Tennessee play, and any Tennessee fans, by the way, here, because this might be your year. You have a great team, and you have a really cool quarterback. I mean, he last week he was on fire. He was really tough to defend. He has everything in the full package: the legs, the good vision to pick the receivers, moving in the pocket. I mean, that guy was tough. So Tennessee has a team this year. Tennessee has a really good team this year. Now they're going to play North Carolina State. This is not going to be an easy game, for sure, because North Carolina State has a good team like that they've been having through the years. So we have here Blake picking Tennessee. All right. We have Matthew picking Tennessee. Smarty Bob picking, oh Lordy, Tennessee. And Boris picking Tennessee. This might be a Tennessee route here. I'm picking Tennessee. There's no way. I mean, not that North Carolina doesn't have a chance to win. They do. North Carolina State has a good team, but again, Tennessee's playing lights out. So watch out, Georgia and the Alabamas, and because Tennessee is pretty good this year for sure. All right, moving along. If you didn't make the pick, just let me know. We're gonna go to the Boise. We're gonna go to the night game real quick here. I'm leaving the best for last. We have one more game, and then we'll talk about the biggest game of this week. So it's Boise State and Oregon is the next one we're gonna pick. I love these night games. There's usually nothing else going on, and they usually end up being really exciting. Anytime you see Oregon and some of these West teams, that it's going to be an offensive usually shootout versus a defensive battle. So Oregon did not look that good last week, to be honest. But they do have a good team. They have a good team, and they have if anybody knows, they have the best uniform combinations. They have just a specific grant that for uniforms, so they wear a different combination every single game, and it's pretty neat to see their color combination. All right, so we have Blake picking Boise State. Blake picking Boise State, and Boris says Oregon is going to win big. All right, if we finally have the college football enthusiast with us, it looks a little dark there where he's at, but let's bring him on. There he is. You're a little in the dark there, but we see you.
Yeah, it's the lighting because this is my computer. My phone has decided not to work, so I don't know why it wouldn't let me join the YouTube link, but I'm gonna try to do what I can.
Well, Matthew's picking Oregon. Let's see. Oregon for sure, he says. And I'm Smarty Bob, Oregon. All right. Again, we have almost a round here of Oregon, except for Blake that's picking Boise State. I'm going to go with Oregon. All right. So the college football enthusiasts, we actually have gone through 4 of the games. I'm leaving the Texas Michigan for last. So
okay.
That was a little bit of your picks there. You can start with the Oklahoma State versus everybody pick Oklahoma State versus Arkansas game. Go ahead.
Okay, so if you want, I can keep it very brief, but I'm gonna say my rankings really quickly because I've been in the lobby for like the last like 15 minutes. I don't know what's been going on with my phone, so it's been like I'm here. But anyways, so number 1, Georgia, because they just dominated Clemson. Like Georgia, like I said, until someone beats Georgia, Georgia's number 1. Number 2, Texas, because they've looked dominant, and then they play Michigan. They have a chance to maybe to solidify that number 2 spot. And then number 3 through 5 gets tricky because you know, I don't want to like punish teams, and it's not really being punished. I just want to do fresh rankings every weekend. So I'm gonna, I'm gonna do something different. Number 3, I'm gonna say Ohio State. Because I still think they have a very complete team.
All right.
And then
Boris picked that too, so you're with Boris there. Go ahead.
Yeah,
What's number 4?
Number 4. Oof, this is a tough one. I think number 4 is Alabama, because I just think they have another complete team. And then number 5, instead of Notre Dame, because just watching the Notre Dame and then comparing them to Miami, I think Miami, I'm not just saying this because they embarrassed us, but Miami has a very complete team and a great quarterback. And just watching them, again, I don't know if we're just that bad, but like I didn't see any weaknesses. Like they're just so Miami's number 5. So that's my top 5.
To answer Blake there, yeah, Blake, Boise State, yeah, I believe they have the blue field, and I think they're the only team that has something like that, like a blue field. So when I see that, I know
they're known for that.
Yeah, so I kind of like that. I think it'd be neat if other teams kind of put some different color on their field. So why not? Exactly. All right. So go ahead and tell us a little bit about the games. Go through the games, in order, and leave Texas and Michigan for last. That's going to be our last pick before we end the broadcast. So go through. Start with Oklahoma State and Arkansas. Tell us what you think about that game. Okay,
so Arkansas, they blew out a team last week. Like that wasn't even close. So you don't really know like what their team has. They have a lot of new pieces because their quarterback went to UCF. Their great quarterback went to UCF. So it's not really, it's a lot of unknown. But then Oklahoma State, they have probably one, or if not the best running back in the nation. Ollie Gordon, he did really good last year, and then he may win awards this year as well. And then they have the most experienced offensive line in the nation. I think they're all seniors or something. So, I mean, you could probably guess what their game plan is going to be for the rest of the year. Just run the ball. And there's just so much unknown about Arkansas still, in my opinion. And then there's more known about Oklahoma State, and an experienced line is always just a blessing. That's something that it's vital for your team to have. And they're in Oklahoma State, so I'm gonna pick Oklahoma State. That's my pick there. So
all right, Oklahoma State. I'm gonna write you down here for Oklahoma State. Yeah, I wrote there on the
text. Anyone picked Arkansas?
If anybody else wants to come on the video, you're welcome to come and show your face here and join us here. What was your question there?
Has anyone picked Arkansas?
Nope, nobody picked Arkansas.
Arkansas is gonna win. I'm still picking Oklahoma State, but I think Arkansas is gonna win because nobody picked them.
Well, there's another one that everybody picked the same team. All right, let's talk about Utah and Baylor.
So Baylor, I'm going to keep this brief. Baylor, a lot of unknown. Their coach is on the hot seat. So they got to win, but they're going to Utah. Utah has an experienced team. Utah's had basically the same team. Their quarterback is in year 8, which is just ridiculous. And then their tight end is also like in year 6 or 4 or 5 or something. So they have a very experienced team. They're always going to play the same way. Run, pass a little, running quarterback run. Like they're the same team. Then they're physical. So they're in Utah. They have a great record at home. So Utah's going to win that one.
All right. Everybody picked Utah on that one except for Blake, who picked Baylor. All right, Tennessee.
So this is actually, I think, a pretty good game. And was it this year? Yeah, well, actually, it's gonna be a good game. But NC State, they were like they almost lost to like West Carolina. Like I don't know if it was last week or the week before, and that's just kind of embarrassing. So that's the last time I watched NC State. Nobody watched that game, but it was like before. It wasn't during the weekend, so it was like on Thursday or something. Like it was one of the only games, and that's what I saw. And they have a good quarterback, though, Grayson McCall. He was really good at Coastal Carolina. He was the only reason Coastal Carolina was good. It was a big surprise that he didn't transfer to like a bigger school because I mean he was great, like I don't know, NFL type maybe. And that's all I know. NC State, they have an experienced coach. They're always like around the 8-win to 9-win seasons, and they're very consistent. But Tennessee, they looked amazing against. I know they played. Who did they play? A small school. I know it's a very small school, but they looked explosive. Even last year against the small schools, it was the defense that carried more and the run game. Their quarterback just wasn't that good. But this year, their quarterback's really good. At Tennessee, I think is going to be a really good team. I think the Gators are in trouble. But so I'm going to pick Tennessee. They're a good team.
All right, that's the one where everybody picked Tennessee. Nobody picked. No love for North Carolina State here. All right, last game before we go to the main game: Oregon and Boise State. Who do you like and why?
So Boise State is out of the Power Five, Group of Five teams. Boise State has always been one of the tougher ones, and I think they have a solid team this year. I haven't looked too much into it, but I mean, they always have a solid team. But Oregon, I just have to say, I'm ashamed. I'm sorry. Like, I'm embarrassed for them. Like, what was that? They were favored to beat Idaho by like 49 points or 42 points, and they won 24-14. And that touchdown, it didn't tell. Like, it was a 10-point game, but not really. It was really like a one possession game throughout the game. And if you see how their quarterback's good, but he had to throw 49 times, and they were like short passes because they couldn't run the ball. Their offensive line sucked. Against Idaho, they had 2.5 yards a carry against Idaho. Like, usually I don't just throw those stats out there, but you're only running less than 3 yards a carry against Idaho. Like, that's terrible. So I'm disappointed, honestly, myself, because all I've been seeing is, Oregon's going to be great. Oregon is a national championship contender. I think they'll be a good team, but you can't win championships with an offensive line that doesn't even let you carry more than 3 yards a carry against Idaho. So they're going to win against Boise State, but I don't know if they're going to cover. They're favored by 19. Who knows?
Maybe closer than that, yeah. That's how I felt about Ohio State. I keep telling people, because if you watch the game against I don't know if you say Akron or Akron, or how you say that.
I think
Akron. They struggle, man. That first half, that other team looked like a Power 5 team against them. I mean, I think the quarterback got hurt, and they had to change quarterbacks, and things changed a little bit, but they just didn't look good. They didn't look good in that game at all. All right, so let's go to the main game of the week, which is Texas and Michigan State. And I'll tell you right now, if Texas wins this game, they're my number one for next week for sure. Because if they win, and if they win impressive, they will be a good win for them. A tough game that they're going to have to play today. So we already have Boris saying Texas will win. The Texas offensive line and quarterback are really good veterans. Michigan's defensive tackles are good, but can't match Texas offensive. Michigan offense is not ready yet. All right, Boris, I like that. And you're picking Texas. All right, tell us a little bit of what you think there. college football enthusiast. Tell us.
So Texas looked really good. I know they didn't really play anyone, but it's not about, I don't know. So it's kind of hard to diagnose those games when you play an FCS school, but still it matters how you like how you play, how you score, all that matters. And I mean, they were just dominant, and the quarterback looked on point, and everything looked on point. And if you compare it to Michigan's first game, Michigan they played Fresno State, and Fresno State isn't a joke. Like, they're, again, compare them to the other group of 5 schools, they're a tough school. But Michigan just didn't look good. Like, their quarterback play wasn't good, and then I see not a rare situation, but a situation happened with the quarterback that won the job, I think, and reports say that Michigan wanted the other guy to win. You know how it is. Like, when you have one that's a better prospect and a better football player, you want him to win. But then the other guy won, so you can't just give it to the guy that you want to win. Like, he's got to earn it. But he didn't win it over. So that kind of confused everyone, because it's like, what happened here? So, yeah, and you could tell that they just don't look good offensively. And the game against Fresno, you look at the score, and I think they won by 20, but that's not the game. Like, those were late touchdowns, but throughout the game, it was a close game. Fresno State was bringing it to them, and Michigan has a great defense, amazing defense, but Texas is good. They're in Michigan, though, which is something, but I'm gonna go Texas, though. Texas, right. I trust them more than Michigan this year.
So pretty much everybody except Blake, who picked Michigan, picked Texas for this one. Hello to Glockensig. He says Penn State there. Yeah, we have in my top 5. I have Penn State as number 4. Pretty impressed with their win last week. Who they play this week? Do they even play this week? I don't even know if I.
Yeah, they play Bowling Green. They're favored by 35.
Oh, Bowling Green. That's right. Bowling Green actually has a good team. I was looking at them in the week just to make sure. So Penn State definitely cannot let their guards down, because they might get surprised. But of course, if we had to pick on that game, I would still pick Penn State for sure. Yeah. All right. So, any other games that you want to comment about real quick? We have the picks for the week. Like I said last week, Matthew was the winner. He got 5 out of 5. We'll see this week, who wins. Blake has the more contrarian picks here out of the group. For all the other picks, we're pretty close. We're pretty close on the other picks. So I think that either we're all gonna lose the game, or we all gonna get them right, because
I feel better about the Tennessee one, but the Oklahoma State one, like, I'm not saying, like, Arkansas is still an SEC school, and they're not Vanderbilt, so they have a. Actually, you know what? Vanderbilt, very quickly, shout out to Vanderbilt. They beat Virginia Tech. That was a big upset. Good job, Vanderbilt.
Yeah, that's right.
I can't laugh at you anymore, because you look more impressive than the Gators. The Gators look terrible, so I can't say anything,
Well, another game there that is actually this important is to see how Kentucky and South Carolina look. We know the SEC. Yeah. It's definitely going to be a tough conference to come out of this year for sure, with the addition of Oklahoma and Texas. So does Kentucky and South Carolina got what it takes to even, look half decent? Well, they play each other today. Who do you like in that game?
I think Kentucky, because I know, so like, one game doesn't tell all, but South Carolina, last week they played I don't want to say the wrong FCS school, but they did not play a good school. I'm pulling it up right here. Let me tell you the score. Old Dominion, South Carolina 23, Old Dominion 19.
Wow, that's not
What
good.
in the world?
Yeah,
And
Old Dominion is a good women basketball team, but I never heard of them being a good football team.
then with like 6 minutes and 30 seconds left in the fourth quarter, Old Dominion was winning. Like no, what? That's terrible. Like again, I can't say too much because the Gators, like, we look terrible, but we lost to Miami. Like,
Yep.
barely beating Old Dominion. So I think Kentucky's gonna win. Kentucky always does this thing where they're just under the radar, and then they have a pretty solid to good roster. So Kentucky's probably gonna win that one.
I'm picking Kentucky in that one too. So my other son, my older son, is actually giving us a score. He says Texas 34, Michigan 14. That's a pretty good score there. Michigan is definitely not the same team as last year. They look completely different. But anyway, it's in Michigan, so it should be an exciting game. If you were to watch, one game this week, that's a game to watch for sure. It should be an exciting game.
Yeah, that's the premier game. Yeah, I think there's some good games, but that's the premier game.
So, guys, every Saturday we're gonna try to be here at 9 a.m. Feel free to come prepare if you want, and join us here, not only in the chat, but you can also join us here live. I have bought this program. I always buy it during the season so that we can have I forget how many, but we can have a good host of people here actually on the screen, so you can join us next week. We don't mind having you. We don't mind having your opinion, and we can have a talk. You can have your pipe going, and we can just have a good old time. So every Saturday, 9 in the morning, at 10, we have the pop in the tin. So right after this, at 10 we'll have pop in the tin, and then at 10:30, you can go to the Lady Fire's Kitchen channel and see what she's cooking. And that's what we're gonna keep doing for every Saturday as much as we can. So you guys have something to look forward to on Saturday mornings. So of course, we're gonna say go Gators. They play
Samford,
a lesser school today. Hopefully, we can come up with the win and kind of brush off last week's beatdown that we had for sure. So
it's a big deal though, because the fan base right now is very not divided. We're all united, but against the coach. So
yeah,
that's not good. But we are starting our freshman quarterback, who was one of the best, well, not one, the best quarterback coming out of high school. And it's the only hope. DJ Lagway. It's the only hope the Gators have. So this game against an FCS school is going to be his first start, and I mean, I think it's the only hope. It's the only hope the Gators have. Everything else looked bad, but he's our future and could be our present. So yeah, he could save his job. So I'm excited.
So we say that Smarty might join us on the camera next week. Matthew from Pekin and Pipe said he might join us on the camera next week. So all right, yeah, looking forward to it. And again, this is open to anybody. You're welcome to come and join. And Smarty says, "Go Irish!" All right. Well, until next Saturday, guys, we'll keep it brief for this one. Maybe next week will be more jam packed. But go and watch some football. Enjoy your Saturday. Have fun, and join us in about 20 minutes and pop in the tin, and we'll have a live chat there. So until next time, guys. See everyone. And
all right.
Go Gators. Go football.
Go Gators. Have a good Saturday.